This video will talk or discuss about the 10th house. In our previous videos, we discussed houses 1 through 9, and the 10th house will be the 10th in this series. So, what is the 10th house? As per Vedic astrology, of course. Now, the 10th house is known as per Vedic astrology as the Karma Bhava. Now, what is karma? Karma is nothing but what work we do, karma, and not in terms of past life karma or present life karma, but karma as in terms of what kind of a work will we do in this present life. So it's called the karma bhava. And also the purpose. We do a karma, and of course we are born for a particular purpose. So this house can tell us what is the purpose for our birth, what kind of work will we do. And we know that it's all predestined as per the belief of Vedic astrology. We also can look at our karma or work and see how successful we will be related to the work. And in the present day and age, and even in earlier times, career is the word where we are all very, very interested, and we want to make a successful career for ourselves. And the 10th house will give a very clear indication as to whether the career of that person will be good. Will he succeed in his career, or will he fail in his career? So the planets and the planet lords and the 10th house in general will describe that. Also, other than career and the purpose of life, it also represents the power and position what that person will actually have in the society. So society also has a direct connection where how people perceive him. How powerful will that person will be? Will he hold a powerful position in society or in his work? So that also, and when you start doing charts, you'll look at some very, very famous people, and the 10th house is going to speak a lot about why the person is famous. Also, the 10th house is an Artha house, which means that it is represented or representative of money also. So we know that the wealth house is the second house, but also we know that the 10th house, through the 10th house, we can determine how successful a person will be as far as money matters are concerned, material matters are concerned, because it's an Artha house, and Artha means money in Sanskrit, pretty much. Now, we know that the 10th house is also an angle house, because the angle houses, as we discussed, are 1, 4, 7, and 10. And it is a Kendra or an angle house. However, out of the 4 Kendra houses, the 10th house is considered to be the strongest. Why? Because it represents, of course, our karma, our position, our success in our career, our main purpose in our lives, so on and so forth. So the 10th house gets the highest importance out of the 4 angle or Kendra houses. Also, we have to look at what planets are sitting, or what is the lordship of the 10th house, to be able to determine all these significations which we just discussed. So karma bhava becomes extremely important. Now let's see what the sages have said about the karma bhava or the 10th house. As far as sage Parashara is concerned, he has mentioned that in case the 10th house is strong and be in exaltation or be exalted, or in its own Rashi or zodiac sign, the person will get happiness from his parents. Now he didn't mention father here, A lot of people may get confused. Well, 10th house is concerned with father. No, he has mentioned happiness from parents. Also, Sage Parashara has mentioned that in case 10th house Lord is not powerful, and we'll discuss about the strength of the planet in our next videos, but when the planet is not powerful, it could be because it is combust, or because it's weak in degrees, or because it's not strong in Shatbal, and we'll discuss all those terms in our other videos. But as a general rule, if the 10th Lord or the 10th house Lord is not powerful, it's weak, the person will face a lot of obstructions as far as his work is concerned. So work, direct connection with 10th. That's what the sage says. Now, in case the 10th house Lord is sitting with a benefic and or be in an auspicious house, and auspicious houses, as we know, are the Kendra and the Trikona houses, one will get royal favors and one will be successful in business. So business, of course, is directly related to career as well. It doesn't have to be a job. So there is a direct connection of the 10th house Lord. And Sage Parashara says that if the 10th house Lord is sitting with a benefic or be in an auspicious house, the person will gain help from royalty or from the king, because we don't have kings now, but we will probably gain through the government. And also our businesses will be successful. So this is one combination by Sage Parashara. Another combination which Sage Parashara mentions is in case the 10th house and the 11th house are both occupied by malefics, or if malefics are sitting in both the 10th and the 11th, then the person will not indulge in good deeds. He will do bad deeds. So again, direct connection of deeds with the 10th house. And of course, in this combination, the 11th house is involved as well. So look at our chart, see, well, are the malefics sitting in the 10th and 11th both? Well, there's a red signal right there, a red flag right there. If the Lord, and this is another combination, if the Lord of the 10th is in the 8th and is sitting with Rahu, that's another bad combination by Sage Parashara. Again, I'll repeat, if the Lord of the 10th is sitting in the 8th house along with Rahu, and the Sage Parashara says that this is a bad combination and he'll do bad deeds. So look at where the 10th house Lord is sitting, 8th house, and if it's sitting with Rahu, wow, another red flag. Another combination which Sage Parashara has mentioned, in case the 10th house Lord be exalted and also be sitting with Jupiter, and also the 9th house Lord is sitting in the 10th. Oh, this is an excellent combination, he says. So 3 conditions have to be fulfilled. The 10th house Lord should be exalted. Second condition, should be sitting with Jupiter, and the 9th house Lord is sitting in the 10th house. This is a great Raja Yoga, Sage Parashara says, and the person will have a lot of wealth and a lot of honor and a lot of respect. So this is a great combination. Now another good combination which Sage Parashara has mentioned, that one will be very happy if the 11th house Lord is sitting in the 10th and the 10th house Lord is sitting in the ascendant, or if both the 11th house Lord and the 10th house Lord are conjunct, sitting in an angle or a Kendra house. This is another great combination for having to lead a very happy life. That's what the Sage Parashara has mentioned. Another combination which Sage Parashara is talking about is that if the Lord of the 10th is exalted in an angle house or a trine house, So it should be exalted, but it should be exalted in either an angle, which is a Kendra, or a trine, which is a Trikona house. And either be in the company of Jupiter, meaning which either should be sitting with Jupiter or be aspected by Jupiter. One will do great deeds. So here the involvement of Jupiter, and Jupiter, we know it's a great sattvic planet. It's a great benefic. And what the sage says related to this combination is, if Jupiter is involved with an excellently placed 10th house lord in an angle or trine, then the person will do good deeds. So Jupiter, direct connection with goodness, sattvic, good deeds. Always remember that. Another combination, in case the 10th house lord be sitting in the ascendant along with the Lagna lord. So the condition is 10th house lord sitting in ascendant, and also the ascendant lord is sitting in the ascendant itself, and the moon is either in a Trikona or a trine house, or in an angle or a Kendra house. Again, the person will be doing good deeds. Now, for doing bad deeds, he has explained here, in case Saturn is sitting in the 10th house along with a planet which is debilitated. So the other planet has to be debilitated in the 10th house and sitting with Saturn. And also the 10th house of the Navansha or the D9 chart should be occupied by a malefic. The person will not do good deeds. That's another combination for doing bad deeds, actually, not good. So Saturn should not be in the 10th. It means bad deeds. And also debility, well, not exactly. I wouldn't say Saturn in the 10th is bad deeds, but the combination here is Saturn sitting in the 10th along with a debilitated planet. And also the 10th house from the Navansha should be, or the 10th house in the D9 chart or the Navansha chart should be occupied by a malefic. Then the person will not be able to do good deeds in his lifetime, or will not be interested in doing good deeds. Another combination for bad deeds given by Sage Parashara is that one will indulge in bad deeds if the 10th house lord is in the 8th and the 8th house lord is in the 10th sitting with a malefic. Then also a person will do bad deeds. Now, as far as fame is concerned, and we have discussed that fame and respect and name and be known in the society and wherever we are working or wherever we are is also an attribute of the 10th house. And Sage Parashara has given a great combination for fame, and he says that a person will be very famous if the moon is sitting in the 10th and the 10th house lord is in a Trikona house from the 10th. So not in the Trikona house from the ascendant, but the Trikona house from the 10th. And the ascendant lord is sitting in an angle house or a Kendra house. So again, I'll repeat. He says a person will be very famous if moon is sitting in the 10th and the 10th house is sitting in a Trikona from the 10th, not from the ascendant. So it should be either the 5th from the 10th or the 9th from the 10th. And at the same time, the ascendant lord is sitting in an angle house or a Kendra house. Then a person will be very famous. So this is a very difficult combination to find easily in charts, but if you do, please look out for that person. He will definitely be famous. That is promised by Sage Parashara. And also another combination for fame which Sage Parashara has mentioned, that in case the 11th house lord is sitting in the 10th house and the 10th house lord is strong and be aspected by Jupiter, then also the person will be famous. And here is another interesting combination for people who are famous. Sage Parashara says that if the 10th lord is sitting in the 9th, and we know that 9th is an auspicious house because it's a Trikona house, and the ascendant house is sitting in the 10th house, and the moon is in the 5th house. 3 combinations or 3 conditions for this combination. If the 10th house lord is sitting in the 9th, the ascendant lord is sitting in the 10th, and the moon is sitting in the 5th, then a person will be famous. Again, this is a very difficult combination to find in charts, but if you find one, Sage Parashara has promised that such people will be famous. So that ends our discussion on the 10th house today, and we will be discussing about another house in our next video. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks.